is our Final Four. We both agree on Gonzaga. We think we'll see Gonzaga. We'll see the Zips in the Final Four. That's the only thing we can get strong on. I got Kentucky, North Carolina, and then Arizona coming into my Final Four. You have the defending champions, the Kansas Jayhawks. You have the Creighton Blue Jays, and then you have the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think you have an interesting side. I think my side's a little more safer, if you will, based on past records and probably where they sit in the AP side. I really like where you're sit. I think Gonzaga is a really good basketball team. I think we can see Drew Time against Kentucky with the award winner. I think Oscar show up. I think imagine that game in the Final Four national championship game could be absolutely electric to see that game happen. I can't rule out Hubert Davis after his amazing season in his first year at UNC last year. I think this team only retooled and is getting better. I think bringing in Nance to take over, to be that strong piece, that strong transfer, I think they've only got better than last year. I think they really have a good chance at being a very good team. They're not only my ACC pick, I think they're going to be in the Final Four. And then you know how high I am on Arizona this year. I think they're going to run it back, win the Pac-12, and I wouldn't be shocked to see them make that other step forward and see themselves in the Final Four this year. That's my Final Four. That's where it wraps up. Steve, I love your Final Four because there are some hopeful picks that I'm sure that I bet nobody else in the industry has that same four than you have.
Well, again, this is the guy that had St. Peter's in his Final Four.
You did.
You know,
you almost made it. You almost got
it. I almost got there, and I was spending the money before I actually won it, so which was not good. But what I like about your side, though, real quickly, is imagine Gonzaga and Arizona play against each other.
Would love it. I'm sure. Yeah, I would love that game.
Yeah, I mean, the coach and the mentor, very similar approaches to recruiting and integrating the international talent into the thing. That would be great. Your other two teams, Kentucky and North Carolina.
They're reason I'm not gonna lie, they're safe picks.
You know why they're not safe picks? They're going to get beat up in the regular season of their conference, and they're going to get beat up in the tournaments of their conference.
Okay, that's
so. While I can see both teams winning, I think we both had North Carolina, and while we can see both teams winning, I think that just the wear and tear and the intensity of both of those is going to wear them down. So maybe when they get to the 8, there's nothing left in the tank. So that's where I opened the door for a team like Iowa and a team like Creighton. Kansas, Jalen Wilson is another guy we need to talk about as a player of the year. DeJuan Harris, if he finds his shot, look out. I mean, Kansas come tournament time is going to be really, really interesting. Iowa is a team that's going to get better as the year goes on. I think by the end of the year, they will have the number 1 ranked backcourt in the country. You don't see them ranked as the number 1 backcourt in the country, but I think they're going to have the number 1 backcourt in the country. DeSante Bowen is going to be perhaps the freshman of the year. He's only going to get better with time. Chris Murray coming back is huge. With Braca, be a nice front court tandem. Bill Self, those had to coach tournament basketball. And there's one thing to coach in the regular season, another thing to coach in the tournament. Not to pick on Rick Barnes, but always great teams in the regular season. Come tournament, the headlights coming right at him, and Rick Barnes seems to be staring at it and not making the decisions he makes during the regular season. Creighton, there's just something about them. I just love that team. They're by far the most underrated team in the top 10. And Greg's the most underrated coach in college basketball. What he has done with that Creighton program is amazing, especially given the extra travel demands that they face because they're not really an Eastern team. I mean, they're in the Central Time Zone, bordering on Mountain Time Zone almost. So their travel schedule is a little more difficult. But Kalkbrenner, 7-footer, clogs the lane, nice touch around the basket. He can step out to 15 feet, keep defenses honest. I just think that they're going to be the class of the Big East. If they get a number one seed in the East, I think that would benefit them greatly. So for me, they're my other quote unquote sleeper team. And that's only because that I think teams coming out of the SEC and the ACC and even the Pac-12, got Arizona there, I think they're just going to just beat up on each other. And Kansas is going to benefit from the fact that the Big 12 is such a good conference. South will make the most of what the lessons that get learned on the court, even in losses in the Big 12. And I think Iowa is the surprise pick. I think they're just built in this field with these teams. I think they're built to not only win the Big 10, but also go to the Final Four.
I cannot wait until we get this far down. I can wait because I'm excited for all of college basketball, but I'm excited to see if we get any of these picks right. And I would love to see some of these shocking teams that you have on the right. Because, I mean, seeing a Creighton or an Iowa in there, I mean, that would be a shock. And if that's the case, we are definitely going to return to this graphic and make sure everybody is reminded that you pick them just like you picked St. Peter's to go that far and you were just shy. Hopefully they're not just shy this year and you can be just on board.